Amsterdam International Radio.
No, now one of you has to intro it because I already
Alright,
I already lost my momentum now.
Okay.
I lost my thing.
We are the Three Men. My name is Jeff.
Oliver.
Nick.
Okay. And this time we're going to talk about hip hop in the world in
Jeff
general.
had-
Not
Jeff had
only
this-
America, but worldwide.
Jeff had this funny idea to listen to people rapping in funny languages. So we're gonna just have an hour of listening to people rapping in funny languages.
We're going to talk about.
They're normal
I'm laughing
languages.
about
We're
it.
man.
not just
They're
going to
like-
listen
language
to
is funny.
people rap in funny languages, so as you call it. Don't
As
say
he
that
call-
shit.
he- as he
It's
calls
foreign
it.
languages. It's like don't make fun of
Foreign
people
language.
here. But
So
we're
we're
also
gonna-
I also want to talk a little bit about our views on hip hop becoming a global
yeah.
phenomenon.
He wants to hear
And
my little rant.
How that is and how we think about that, especially since I know you have some thoughts, Oliver. Again,
What was that?
yeah, shots.
I don't have
You know,
shots.
Hopefully,
No,
we don't have to
me.
call someone to go
Shut
to your house and pop you. I mean, then
Wow.
Yeah.
All I
I'll
was
show
saying.
you. Like, yeah.
But yeah, like as we all know, hip hop is becoming, or actually is, the dominant popular culture almost everywhere in the world. It's slowly getting to the far reaches in the world. Smaller countries are picking up on it, and a lot of countries have their own hip hop scene brewing up, and they're influencing their old traditional music with hip hop and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's becoming vibrant, and the reason why I suggested this topic is because a site popped up, funrap.com. I liked it. It's like a shuffle for rap from all over the world. So you just go to the site, you get some music, YouTube video.
You choose a
pops up.
country? Is it like?
Yeah, you can choose a country. You can just find random. You can just press shuffle and then random music comes up. You get links to all the places where you can download it. It's a really cool site, and we'll put it in the description of the podcast so people can find out. And
Who's doing the quality control on this?
as I know, there's just one or two people who run this thing, and then they just, when people submit a track or they find a track, they put it in there. So
But I saw
Yeah.
video clips. Is it only video clips, or is it just also you
only,
can
only
also
video
listen to-
clips. It's
Yeah,
only
okay, that's it.
video. Yeah,
Mm.
it's
It's
not
a nice platform.
It's a nice
But-
platform to work off on, but yeah, the interesting thing about this is you see for the first time how big the scope of hip hop is. Actually, most people think it is either only America, maybe UK, and then a few European countries
Mhm.
doing it. But this shit is
And Iggy. That's it.
But this shit is worldwide. Like just a few countries in the list here, but not all of them are here. Albania's in there, Austria, with Brazil, Gabon, Greece. Just naming random countries.
Well, you got Sudan in there. We'll have
Sudan-
to listen to that one.
Uh,
I'm curious.
Sudan is not in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in there. Oh, then it's not alphabetical. Then oh.
That would be interesting. Is
But,
Sudan? There's a lot of African rap out there, but Sudan's like Africa, but it's Arabic at the same time. I
Yeah.
wonder.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Nigeria, of course, Ghana. You have Hong Kong, mainland China, Ivory Coast,
Mhm.
Italy. It's all over the place, and it's really cool to just scroll through it. During this episode, every now and then we'll play just a random song and give our thoughts on it, what we like, what we don't like, and mainly we will talk about, is it good
Mm.
that this hip hop thing is global? If you ask me, it's a pretty good thing. It says that
Nobody
People
was
are
asking
looking-
You. Nobody was asking you.
okay,
It doesn't have to be good or
Nobody
bad, man.
was asking you,
It's really
I-
hip hop.
ask me.
fuck you.
Nobody
I'm trying to
Nobody was
properly
asking.
introduce this
Nobody,
shit. and you're just shitting on me?
nobody was asking you shit.
You son of a bitch. What are your thoughts then, huh? Tell us what you think.
I'm funny. I'm a funny guy.
Tell us what you think.
Well, I
I
don't
know you're bitter about this, or
I'm not bitter. I
you
just
end
think
up-
it's very easy for everybody to feel very happy about it, spreading and it's becoming global and people are sharing this culture. But you have to look at the mechanics
Mhm.
behind it. When you look at it, the way that I see it, you're taking just a very specific culture that has commodities such as the music and the clothing. Maybe the language is not as easy to hold,
Mhm.
but it has very specific commodities that people that aren't part of the origination of that culture are now profiting off of, and the people that were part of the origination of that culture aren't profiting of. And I think that is quite sad. Just imagine it's like scientists that made these inventions that added a lot to the to the quality of the world, but didn't get their fair share or didn't get their their credit for making it. I think that is something that also needs to be looked at. So if you have other people also making this kind of music, I don't care. But my point is that I don't necessarily find it a good thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing. But I'm not happy. I don't care. It's
It's something to be indifferent
not
about.
excited about.
But I don't think that they don't like the originators don't get they get the credit. People know where it started.
Yeah, but I'm talking about money.
Oh, you're talking about money.
Right.
Yeah, monetary.
Cool.
But that's just because the system is kind of fucked. They didn't. Nobody or people took control of it early, and the wrong people took control of it pretty early. That's just unfortunate part of the music industry and how they did it there. But yeah, right now it seems like more of the American artists are.
I mean, the American artists are still the most popular ones.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They built the platform back in the day, but now
And they're still at the center of it. And now
everybody has it, man.
Now
But
it's
you were saying in the beginning. You were saying I'm interested in hearing your opinion on this because you said they weren't part of the origination. But what do you mean? Because I mean we all grew up in different parts of the world. In Jordan, I remember we were all part of that hip hop culture because we were all listening to it. And a lot of people can relate because there's the same problems there as there is in the American stuff.
Yeah.
And
Of
people
course.
grew into it. So they're part of the culture and now they create their own,
Of course, but if you look at a variety of things, because you can, this is a very good point, because you can look at it in terms of social class, and there I have an issue with it too. That's what we talked about when we did the Kendrick Lamar episode.
Yeah.
Is that one's religion in hip hop? That one we did.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
talked about this, right? Like these, college kids who were like, "Oh wow, Kendrick Lamar," but you're not part of that shit. Yeah, so that's another way of looking at it. That's
Yeah.
completely fair. But
Yeah.
in this case, because we're talking about foreign rap, I was looking at it in this perspective in terms of countries, indeed, and it's different because if I get them taking something and then being inspired by it and making it in their own version of it in their own way, and you see that in certain places. Like in Japan, you have that. In Korea, you also have that where they really made their own kind of hip hop.
Yeah.
It's hip hop inspired.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I think it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the stuff is cool.
I like those kind of styles more
Yeah.
than the styles like you see some of the Eastern European countries just just copying what Americans are doing straight. Just no filter, no adding their own stuff to it, and that is just it feels awkward. It doesn't sound good. Like
That's my point.
Maybe
Right.
if we get to Eastern European track in the list, I can let you hear how that sounds, and to me that doesn't feel good. But when, for instance, Afrobeat has some hip hop influences, you have Korean hip hop, K-pop having some hip hop influences, and they do still their own shit, their own thing. But
That's what I'm saying. If you look at, for example, other music genres, that a similar thing happened where it became global, and but the point it became global, people forgot where it originally came from, and now people be talking about, talking about jazz, and they forget that it was Miles Davis and Louis Armstrong and all these people even before that. So that was my point. I would hope maybe now, because we live in a different generation where the media is so excessive and it's everywhere. You actually would there's a track record in that sense. So
Now
that's-
there is a
that-
track
that-
record.
that-
Doesn't
that makes it
matter
different.
though. I mean, hip hop is not a music. It's a lifestyle now. It's a whole. It's just
but that's
a
even
natural
more.
progression of the world. I mean, rock was all the fashion was rock inspired. All the fashion became disco inspired.
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
fashion is hip hop inspired now.
Yeah,
So I don't think you can separate it. I mean, the music comes with it as well. You have the West Coast sound, you had the East Coast sound, you had the Atlanta sound. It's all coming together. Like you have West Coast people doing the Atlanta sound now. You got,
yeah. Of course.
So
it's blending. It's
Can you-
becoming more of a.
can you
And-
still separate it?
No, I'm not saying you can.
Should you?
No, I'm not saying you can separate it. I'm just
Mm.
saying that when it comes to, but maybe that this doesn't apply as much to the foreign elements of it because the people don't have, if someone else in a different country just starts making the same kind of music, there's nothing that you can do about that necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it would be nice to see that the people that came up with the music for specific reasons, out of protest and resistance, would get the economic resources that they were lacking, that inspired them to make the music in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. As a community, as a whole.
Yeah.
Thing. And you see a lot of times that still it's become owned by major corporations that don't have those interests. But that's not necessarily a global problem. That's more of a problem in the corporations. So
yeah,
I don't know if that matters for other countries.
Yeah, it is interesting because like there's always this discussion about are there cultures, are there people allowed to basically appropriate hip hop culture, and are they allowed to use it?
Just other cultures in general. Right?
Yeah, like there's always like an ongoing discussion about like if you hear somebody from Russia rapping like Young Thug, like when is that okay and when is it not okay? That's always a discussion people are trying to have, and we're trying to find the line in when is it good and when is it bad. Like, is it bad when they use the same kind of words, if they say the N-word and all that kind of stuff in their raps, or is it bad when they just use the same cadence, the same flow, the same kind of beats? Or is it bad when they dress the same? Like, what is the line? And that's what people are trying to... I think that is where this idea of the ownership becomes important to the foreign aspect.
I understand. I think it's easy with hip hop, but when you turn it, the other way around, then I find funny enough that a lot of people, then all of a sudden they do see the problem with it. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh well, then that actually wouldn't be okay. But it's the same. So if you take for example, anime, right?
Yeah.
So anime is a culture, and it's also a lifestyle, and people are into it. And a lot of people in the West are into it.
Mm-hmm.
But you still see that there's a clear line between where it comes from and the people that just like it, right? You don't have all of a sudden like American people doing. The closest thing I've ever seen of like a Western version of anime was Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's the only thing I saw that got close in terms of style, but also the story.
Yeah,
had sort of a anime-ish vibe, but it still always comes from one central place.
Yeah, but
if you would say, there's a lot of people that are really into anime. If you would tell them like, well, why don't we start making anime here? And they would tell you no. They tell you no, that's fucked. Not even the Japanese people. I'm talking about the people here. They would say like, no, that's no, because it's theirs and blah blah blah. But then why is it that with hip hop? Then all of a sudden, then it is okay.
The thing, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
That's my point.
But the thing with, especially anime, why that is maybe more closed off to a certain region is because anime is just basically the same thing as a cartoon, as a animated movie and that kind of stuff. So the Americans have their own versions. Europe has their own version of that.
Americans have their own versions.
So it's all under the umbrella of...
Turkey doesn't have their own music? Russia doesn't have their own music?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
It's...
It's not a lifestyle.
I get what you're
Anime is not a
getting
lifestyle.
at.
Hip hop is a lifestyle.
How is anime not a lifestyle?
Anime is a lifestyle.
Anime is a lifestyle.
You haven't seen these... You haven't seen these...
You might not be into it, but it's...
Right,
These kids walking around in those...
It is
Yo,
definitely a
but-
lifestyle. He's like, I'm not watching.
But that's not
though.
real life. That's what I think. That's what Jeff was saying as well. So people are imitating characters,
not.
whereas hip hop is like these are
I see
actual
what you
people.
Oh, you're going like that. Yeah, you're going like that. Yeah.
I see what you mean.
I didn't mean that, but you're... Yeah, I see what you're getting
No, you
at.
did mean that.
No, I meant...
I'm your brain.
No, I meant like you have like different, like you have French animation is completely different from American animation. American animation is Mickey Mouse, Pixar, that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean,
French
the
animation is
conversation...
like Cafia. I don't. The one
That was Belgian, right?
Belgium. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
It's French Belgium.
Belgians are Dutch
Asterix
French.
and Obelix and that kind of stuff. That is more that kind of. But yeah, it's all under the same umbrella of animation, and anime is just what Japanese people see
How is
that,
this
but
not
I
just
don't know.
all in the umbrella of music, and music is how they can just do their own music?
Yeah,
But
that's
they-
the
but
level. But this is. Yeah,
I'm asking questions.
no,
I'm trying to
But this
understand.
is good. Like,
But this is
Because-
I'm not saying you're asking bad
It's,
questions.
yeah, it's just.
Any
But that's what I'm
questions-
saying. It's
yeah.
just music, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well then if it's just anime and they have their own anime, then people here could start making similar anime as to what they make.
But people do that, and that's happening.
When
Like they have
Japanese anime here,
They don't call it Japanese anime, but they call it American anime.
Where is this? When is this?
There's a few shows like Avatar is one of them, but you have it's called Wakfu or some shit. It's French, but yeah.
Well, I think that's fucked too. But you know, go ahead.
There's stuff like that happening. But yeah, it's finding those nuances.
I'm not saying other people shouldn't do, because like I said, I'm neutral. But my point is, I just think that it is with every sort of cultural expression. I always like to know where it originally comes from and to appreciate the people that originally made it. That's how I am with anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you go to I'm the kind of person, if I go to a Japanese restaurant or something and I don't see Japanese people working there. I'm serious. I'm not.
No,
I just
me-
don't.
yeah,
I don't
I'm
like
the
that.
same.
I just find it sketchy.
Because my first question, it's not even. I find it sketchy too. But my question is, why doesn't a Japanese person own this restaurant? It's their fucking food. I'm sorry. Like I really feel that it's their food. You're just making money off of their food. I have a problem with that. I just let them make money off their own food.
Yeah, I get it.
You have it in the States. When I went to the States, they have all these shits, man. You come there, the first thing they gave you was Panda Express, and you eat it, and you just taste that Asian people didn't make it. And the reason I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
I'm saying Asian people because they sell it just as like Asian food. They don't sell it as like Japanese good. There's like Panda Express, just Asian food. It's called Panda Express. I mean, the name in itself. The name in itself is not okay, but they just sell it as like just random Asian food. That's just how they present it.
Yeah, but I think you're.
That's why I said when I eat it, I don't taste any Asian country in there.
I think you're right. Whenever it is like,
and I just think it's off. It's a major company.
I get personal about this too, like with Arabic food when someone
That's
else
what-
is trying
okay, yeah,
to
that's
claim
what
it,
I'm
I'm
saying.
like,
but I think you're right. Whenever
But-
it is
That's my point.
black culture, people say, yeah, you can just do whatever, and
It's the same, but
And then whenever
that's the question I'm asking is like, why is it not the same thing? Why don't we ask ourselves the same question? And people do, by the way. That's not true that people don't. People do.
no.
Just not enough.
We're not trying to say some bad shit about anybody. We're just having a discussion.
Iggy Azalea was a good example of this.
She fucked up.
she was labeled like a culture vulture and all that.
Yeah, and they sniped.
Yeah, but she didn't help herself, so we don't need to.
You see, I think it's different if there's an honest, like you said, like a connection to the culture of some, because hip hop is not just about being African American or being black. It's also about a certain social class. That's why when you said, there's people in other places that are also in similar social class situations, then it makes sense to me.
But
yeah, I was gonna.
The interesting thing
that
is
makes sense to
you
me.
can hear that sometimes in the music when
You can hear it in the music also.
like we were listening to this Turkish song before.
Yeah, he was talking that shit. Play that shit for me.
Let's play that shit. But with this one, you notice like he was really in that shit, and then you appreciate it a little bit more.
Or he's a very good actor.
And a lot of times it's the appreciation of it's like a celebration of the style or of the culture more than anything.
This is. Could you say the name? I don't know if I can.
He doesn't speak this language. Why you
Maybe
keep
better. Maybe it's better. I don't know. It's close to Arabic.
No, it's not.
Ezhel.
He just tried some shit.
Shireen Tari. We'll put it in the description, man.
Yeah, our phonetics are closer. I don't speak it. But Arabic is a different language.
He's going to get into this.
He's going in, man.
You got the auto-tune on it.
He's going in, man. He's dropping, but he got bars. He got bars. He's snapping off.
The video is high production quality.
Yeah.
This guy ain't broke.
No.
Maybe no,
If
but
he's
maybe,
rapping about being broke, I don't believe it.
maybe he came up. Maybe he came up.
If you look at the video, he's not rapping about being rich or anything. Like, he's talking some real shit.
The taxi driver flexing is what finishes it.
But for some reason,
Maybe he came up. Maybe he's making money now.
I think it's okay if you haven't been through the struggle to rap about it. If you rap about it in general, like if this guy hasn't been through, I don't know his story, but
Yeah.
If he hasn't been through anything, but he's rapping about social issues that are going on in his country, I think that's fine. Like if I were to write a rap about Jordan, I didn't have a bad like. Of course, you run into shit there all the time, but I didn't struggle like a lot of people struggle. But I think I can rap about it. Not make it personal. If you don't make it personal, I think it's fine if you do it. You know, like because there's a lot of things that I think need attention that, you know, and in a lot of countries that's the case. Like,
But what
attention
we're basically getting at, so what I'm trying to understand here, what we're getting at is basically that it's fine to do it as long as you get to the core of hip hop. The core of hip hop in the sense
The
of
problem with hip hop is actually that it's not just a music genre, but that it is, like you said, it's a lifestyle.
yeah.
I mean, and it's a very specific. It's a culture. It's a very specific one also that actually has like any other culture, like Dutch culture or French culture. You know, like the culture of countries or ethnic groups or religions. It has like beliefs and stuff. Like it has
Yeah.
principles.
Right.
I mean,
There's some
and
rules
that's-
within it.
There's rules there.
Yeah.
And people don't follow. Not everybody. People don't follow the rules. The rules get broken. They get shifted.
absolutely not.
But there's debates. But there's a debate still. You see, it still matters. It's even today. It still matters. There's still a conversation about these things. Most recently, probably the Drake controversy. We found out he's ghostwriting.
Yeah.
That was a big conversation, but it was a big conversation. He's gonna make his money. But there was still a conversation by people who really care about the art of can you do that and then still claim to be what you claim to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a serious issue that people converse about. So that's what I'm saying. I think if you're gonna be part of this, culture, I don't know. If I'm gonna be part of any sort of culture, I would want to know what those principles are, and I would want to show an appreciation for those things. And I think that's important. I think that, but for example, again, Iggy Azalea, I think her problem was, for example, that she didn't do that. She just came in and started doing her own shit, and
But
then people were like,
she didn't.
"Hey, that's
when
not
people
how we
try
do
to
things
call
over
her
here."
out-
She's like, "Give a fuck." It's like
That's the problem.
That goes
She could
against
have just come in.
it's not how we do things here.
She could have come in and done her own shit. But when people called her out on some shit, she said she made the worst mistake you can make.
She needed a
in hip-hop.
publicist. She needed a good publicist. I don't know what her publicist has been sleeping.
Yeah, you
to be honest.
cannot come into a culture like that, and then when people try to educate you or talk to you, you just yell at them and
Look.
basically say "fuck you" and all that. No, you will get the fuck out of here, and nobody was going to help you
yeah.
out.
Because people like Iggy, man. And I think she forgets sometimes that there's fans, that they have fans that support them as well. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
I wanna try
do you-
play
what do you-
this
What do you want to do?
Chinese rap.
Oh, the
Okay,
famous,
that's
the one with
interesting.
featuring famous Dex.
Yeah,
I know he wants.
Like,
he
this
loves
is-
this one.
but
He
the
brushes his
question
teeth
with this
to
one
this.
is, I think this one is maybe on the line. Do we think this is like appropriation, or is this like real appreciation for this?
Well,
one?
I don't know what he's rapping, so
So
it's hard
first-
to tell.
I don't know.
It's pretty clear. It's not clear, but
Maybe from
There's
the video
translate.
clip I
There's
can
no,
tell.
but there's subtitles,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
right?
So yeah, there's subtitles on this one. So let's play this and then see what this
I've
is.
seen it before. You watch it.
Rap music? China?
It already starts good. Right?
What is this Chinese rap music? Sounds like they're just saying ching chang chong.
My chance new go watch made in China. We play ping pong.
This one is pretty
made in China.
I think quite a lot of people already know this song.
Made in China.
yeah.
Yeah, had brother black car made in China. She said that she didn't love me. She said that she didn't love me. She said that she didn't love me. She lied, she lied. She all made it in China. She all made it in China. She all made it in China. She lied, she lied. 老总把你叫醒 ，Made in China。牙膏牙刷上面挤 ，Made in China。把早餐放进陶瓷碗 ，Made in China。
Straight Migos ripoff.
Straight up.
But this is what I want to get into. Like, that's why I
know
want
what
to
to
ask.
say.
Like, it's,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dude, snap. He's going off.
he's going off,
going
but
off.
this is this like a is like appropriation? Is this a rip off? Is this just appreciation for the culture?
There's two elements here, man. I think with the beat itself and stuff, they did a really good job because he's appropriating the Chinese elements, Chinese traditional music in there. But I mean, yeah, I don't think you should be rapping in English with an accent like that. And if you don't,
But
have,
I think that's the joke, right?
If he has a background in it, I don't know, man.
He ain't feeling it.
Okay, there's a lot of people rapping English and combining it with their own language, but I feel it comes off really weird.
I agree.
It comes off weird. I don't know. It comes off like.
I mean, I don't know
a
what to
rip-off.
think of this though.
Yeah,
I-
but this
I
is
don't know
like,
what this
but
is.
this is like the crossroads where what we're talking about. Like, this is where this shit intersects, and then we get to a weird conclusion where we don't know what to do. Like, they have more songs and they do more of their own shit, but this is what they started with.
Mhm.
Is this a bad place to start with when you're trying to?
I mean, if you're trying to come up,
This is not where they started, but this is the biggest song. This was their big song that
7
people.
million, I see.
I mean,
Got
this is what I was
listening
saying
to them
again. You
about.
know, hip hop, the big, one of the big principles has always been and still is. Are you real? Are you really what you're talking about or what you're presenting to the world? Doesn't matter who you are. Not if you're from. You could be from China. You could be from Atlanta. You could be from St. Louis, New York. There's
Yeah.
still the question. Okay, so you said this and this, or you present yourself like this and this. Do you really do that? Are you really that person, or are you just acting
Yeah.
to get money? And we should continue to ask that question. We should hold on to something.
Oh, right on.
We should continue to ask that question.
But you
So
don't know
you're
until you
just-
do the research.
That's what I'm saying. But if you're just rapping about your own Chinese shit, all right, I believe that. I can see you.
Yeah, but
But this shit,
with,
Yeah.
what,
do you really do that?
with hip hop? With hip hop,
That's my question. That's all I'm asking.
I wonder though. With hip hop, we put a lot of emphasis on authenticity. But
Say that again.
don't let me. Don't. I just slipped and I don't want to try it again. But other genres that also have this core element in them, they just like country. Country is also supposed to be about being real and that kind of stuff, right? Or
Yeah,
am I
but
wrong?
there's a. I think there's still a still a space. It doesn't. I don't think you have to. When I say it needs to be authentic, I don't think you don't necessarily have to go through specifically what you're saying. But it needs to
Okay,
be in your life,
Yeah.
around, it needs to be believable. It's not like you're telling exact, because then it becomes
You
boring.
can rap about your friends.
Yeah, but
shit
it
that
becomes boring. But if it
So-
needs to be believable, it needs to be like, okay, this is, this sounds like something that you would have gone through, or this sounds like something
Yeah.
maybe a friend or you were around, this kind of thing happening. That makes sense.
Like you can't rap about balling out in the club every weekend when you're broke.
Exactly.
yeah.
You can't. I don't know, man. You're a privileged person who grew up in a rich family. You can't rap about struggling.
That's why
I mean, it's
Iggy
easy as that.
Azalea's, G-Eazy. Well, G-Eazy, I don't know.
G-Eazy,
Mm.
G-Eazy, I don't know. Actually, I saw his story. I don't think they weren't.
What's his background? I mean,
He's from the Bay Area.
okay, so he
No
wasn't-
idea where he's.
The Bay Area, and he lived in a very multicultural environment, very multicultural neighborhood. He was always into hip hop as a kid. He only hung out with other hip hop
Mm.
people, and basically as a kid, he already told his mom like, "That's what I'm doing." So, so
but he
I
didn't
guess
struggle, did he?
they weren't rich,
Hmm.
but they weren't like
Well.
trapping.
Nah.
It
No,
wasn't
but
like
I
Meek
think
Mill.
most of those rappers now weren't trapping.
No, but that's what
I mean,
that
That's
I
more
will
of an
say
old
this.
school thing that I think-
And free Meek Mill. I will say this. He does have that. He does. I do respect him for that. His shit was hard, man. His background was hard. Meek Mill.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
It's
there's no
hard. And
discussion.
when he talks about it, it's like, dude,
Yeah, but the question then is
fucking on the mattress with rats and shit. Like that's real.
What I was
That's really.
getting at
There's
is,
no
do
discussion
you
there, I
need,
think.
like you kind of answered it already, but do you need to be that? Does everything you need to rap about be as real as possible? But because hip music is also just telling stories. You don't need to go through every.
Yeah, but it needs to be a story. It needs to be a story. I have to believe that you can understand it or relate to it in some way. That's why I said it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
specifically you,
Yeah.
but it needs to be in your area.
Yeah, like you can't rap about the social issues if you've only lived in Beverly Hills. You know?
Yeah, but
But okay,
there are a lot of hip hop artists right now just rapping random shit.
Talk about it. Who?
No, it's more like I don't know,
Not
Gambino-
anybody I listen to.
but it's more on the SoundCloud.
yeah, man.
What do you say?
Gambino, but he ain't.
Y'all need to stop that bullshit. Like Gambino is
he
the-
doesn't exist.
Gambino-
go on, go
Y'all
on,
need
go
to
on.
res-
go
Let's
on.
take
Y'all need to
showers.
put some respect on that name.
somewhere. Are you
But-
finished? Are you done? Is that
Like
Who you got? 'Cause I got nobody.
it's
When I
not-
listen
it's
to
not,
these-
it's not like the bigger guys, but some of the smaller SoundCloud.
Well, I think there's a
still
reason that
coming
they're
up.
small.
is that the main reason? Is because we in hip hop say no?
I think
to
it
that?
has a lot to do with it. I think for me, listen, if I don't believe you, I really can't do it. That's why if I don't, that's one of the reasons. Actually, the other way around is one of the reasons that I didn't like Coloring Book, is because and I don't really listen to Chance the Rapper. But him it's in reverse, because mostly people try to act tougher.
Yeah, and
He goes softer, but then he still tries to be like an interview. Sometimes he still tries to act tough. Sometimes when he's called out by Joe Budden, it ain't like Joe Budden calling him out. He's like, "Oh well, I am the cool culture," and Joe Budden used to do this. I was like, but he tries to still say it in like a nice way. I was like, you need to pick, bro. Are you from Chirac or what? Like, what are you doing?
He didn't grow up tough, right? He didn't grow up tough though.
No,
he grew up in Chirac.
Yeah, but he got a lot of.
But I thought because his dad works at the White House.
He got some pretty. He got.
Well, that explains a lot.
Shit.
Explains why I can't listen to your music.
No,
yeah, I was thinking
he's not like he's from Chicago, but he's not from. He's not. He has not only lived that life. He has done more. He has I think his parents or some shit had some connections with politics and he got a little bit up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think maybe that's why he's.
I don't like him as music.
Question we all ask ourselves is finally appropriate in this episode. What the fuck is Bow Wow? Bow Wow made that mistake. Bow Wow was trying to act gangster.
Oh, that's true.
Right? That's not his image. That's what really fucked him, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about Bow Wow.
Bow Wow
There's not much of a discussion.
No, but he wasn't real.
Yeah. No,
he's still not real when he posts on Instagram he's on a private jet. He's
fucking up everywhere. Bow Wow is making mistakes everywhere.
He's done. He is done. But anyway, I think what you said, people, you have to believe it. It could be something. It doesn't matter if you've experienced it yourself or if you're around it a lot. As long as you bring out the message, and people know and they believe. I mean,
Kendrick Lamar raps about stories that are literally about other people, but he also makes it very clear that they're about other people, and he's telling the story of someone else. So I was like Keisha's song was something like that. Sing About Me is that he's telling a story about a friend of his who died, and he even does the voices of friends that are talking to him and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's possible,
but I think it's easier for African Americans to get away with it because, I mean, there's always the race problem there and the race issue. So it doesn't matter which black person raps about it. If they're talking about a whole, I mean, it works.
Let's try this
because they all experience it on a daily basis,
but it's
right?
still, but there's still. I don't know. There's still.
But you can't say I was selling crack around.
No, but there's still limitations. People still get called out. People get called out all the time.
Let's try some shit.
The Migos was beefing with one of these new rappers.
Who?
Saw Baby.
What the fuck is that?
You guys need to get up to date.
I know who he is.
Okay, great.
I know Lil Baby or some.
Pull up with a stick. Saw Baby.
Is that his?
Pull up with a stick. You know the song?
Yeah, I know the song.
That's Saw Baby.
Okay.
Anyways, Migos, he got into some beef with Offset. Offset was also calling him out you're repping all this stuff like Slaughter Gang and stuff. You're not from there. We know people there. You're not from that gang. Mm-hmm. You're not from this. You can't just.
But
say
then you're
that
rapping
stuff.
about very specific stuff. That people call you out on.
It's like you're not part of this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I know because I live there.
But if you're not a gangbanger, you're not in a gang, you don't.
Well, I have the same thing with Childish Gambino. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
There we go.
No.
Because he tries to act that shit too. He tries to act that shit too. And I'm like, bro,
this is a fucking other episode.
You were in Community. You were running for 30 Rock. You tried to talk about, but I'm still from
those his albums, his mixtapes came out before that shit.
You choose to look homeless.
And nobody listened to them at that time. He started blowing up after he was with Tina Fey.
My laptop. Fuck you.
Tina Fey made him famous. Yeah. Tina Fey was what did
But you can use other avenues to become famous.
Shut your fucking mouth. Tina Fey picks you up out of college. Tina Fey drops. She pulls up at the college campus. She picks you up in her car. Bro, shut up. You never get to talk gangster again ever. You lose all gangster credit.
I wonder if Tina Fey was like
all your gangster credit is gone. Tina Fey pick you up from college.
First thing she says is like, "Bitch, take a shower, man." The guy doesn't take showers, right?
People say he stinks.
Smells really bad.
Charlemagne said these things.
Yeah, but a lot of people.
Yeah,
agreed with it.
He knows, like, yeah, a lot of people.
Nah,
They agreed.
that part was when he was in character for his. I don't want to actually go into this.
He's
Man.
trying to
I
explain.
saw Memphis
He's trying to
Depay
explain why he
track
sings.
came up. Why?
Yeah, I wanna. I'm searching for a good track to.
They had Memphis Depay on it.
No, for a good track to show people in other black people in other countries doing that street thing that they
Oh.
see in American hip hop, and I wanted to go into is this appropriation right now, but I cannot find a good song.
Because in this in Holland, it's there's a lot of fake stuff going on, man.
Yeah,
like
that's
a lot
why,
of
that's why I
of
want to pick a Dutch.
Exactly.
there are black artists
Exactly.
here that grew up, and still like Belmer is not is not South Central. Come on,
Exactly.
that's what they talk about it like they had the chance of dying every day.
Do
It's
you have
not
any
true.
ties with Bokusam or UK? If I are you
No.
okay, then I can play because you know some people in the industry here.
I mean, I met him. That's it.
What's
I
it?
don't know exactly what this song is about, but let's just play it. See, I think this is also another braggadocious. I'm gonna go
1
with
minute 47 only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hercules.
Bitch on fleek, super sterk, Hercules, super team, super gang, Hercules. Bitches bad, bitches fees, super bad, Superman, Hercules. Bitch on fleek, super sterk, Hercules.
Yeah, this is just not. I'm sorry. I'm not okay with this.
Production, but production
what-
value just seems low as well. To be honest,
But what part
I'm
of
just
it are
not
you not
okay.
okay
Just
with?
let the people that do it. Jeez, what is wrong with? Am I?
no, there's nothing
No, but
wrong
am
with
I
it. You
just
got to
an
do
old
it right.
Dutch rap? So
Am I
I'm-
just an old guy now? What's
no.
wrong with
No,
saying,
no,
you
no.
know? Because you know what? I don't have a problem with, like I said, I'm indifferent to other cultures making hip hop music, but I don't listen. I listen to American hip hop. That's done. That's it.
But
If I'm eating Japanese food, I'm eating it from Japanese
but
people.
what part of this? What part of
I don't
this
want to
makes-
eat fucking.
This is interesting. What part of this makes you say like? Fuck
Just let
this?
the people that originally do it.
Is it because this is just a straight rip off of what other people are doing, or is this because?
No, I mean it's ripped off badly. That's what I'm saying.
That
And-
too.
and-
I mean,
and-
this is particularly.
And
bad.
I know, and we know some of these artists, and we know what they've actually been through. And the stuff they rap about is not real. I mean, a lot of them is just fake, man. But then again, there's some good ones, man. I listen to Seven sometimes. There's like, I can listen
but-
to some Dutch artists when they do it right, because they do a decent job with some of their tracks. Like,
You like seven?
but yeah,
we're now,
I mean,
we're now going into a little bit into Dutch rap, but Seven is also one of
it's an
those.
example.
He's also one of those rappers that sometimes I think like this is not shit that has happened to you at all. Like you're just talking,
Yeah.
you're talking about being a street dude, slinging that dope, that kind of shit.
But you know who who is real? Boof is actually real
There-
with his rap.
There are quite a few of these rappers that are real and have done this stuff, but it's all iffy. It's like I've no problem with listening to rap from other countries, obviously, because I introduced this topic. But there's
You also wear funny hats, Reggie. So
what is
you're also a funny looking dude.
the fuck, man?
I feel like the public has to know who they're getting their information from.
Anyway,
You just completely threw me. The fuck?
You listen to foreign rap, you also wear funny hats. That's all I'm saying. That's who that is.
I don't know. Pharrell, we used to wear funny hats too,
Well,
Okay,
but he was a weird guy too.
Let's have another song break because this.
No, but
weird ass shit.
hold on, like I think.
Oh yeah, continue.
Fuck. Oh, let's play this song. It'll come back to me. I'll get inspired
I
again.
fucked everybody up.
This is a song from a Belgian artist. I think he's pretty good. He raps in English though, so maybe this is something that will be closer to what you like.
Woody Smalls.
Woody Smalls. I know this is not the kind of beats you like though.
You don't know what I like, man. Shut up.
You will tell me that he doesn't like it, or now he will just say me he likes it because he wants to fuck with me.
No, I don't like this bit.
Like I would have listened to it easier, but
This gon' like some minutes, raise the bar up. You been feeling really lonely, you a star. Smoking medicine in the car. Fucking white bitches, like it's Starbucks. I'm on another planet, roll the loud off. Swish the sweet on the leaf, better take your ass to sleep. On the
Yeah,
left,
Swish
you
is
can't
sweet in,
reach. This the shit,
in Belgium too.
Get up, pussy, what she needs. Take it easy on the beat. I've been rolling on the deep end. Shawty leaking, worth 1,000. What's that? Really solid. Zooted, like I'm all in. Yeah.
Get that you're being recorded, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you
just
still
gave
look
up.
stupid.
That's why I gave up.
You gotta put that clip on.
But yeah, I know you wouldn't like this, B, but this is just a Belgian rapper. But he's rapping in English, so it should be easier.
I mean,
to
it has a
connect
lot to do with what I'm right now. I'm just really into, I got, Lil Uzi Vert,
with. You're
Migos,
into that emo dark.
Young Thug. I'm listening to that. I'm listening to people, they're just really doing their thing. Right now, just the generic shit. I just don't.
No, I agree, of course,
needs
that
to sound
everybody
unique.
has to do their thing.
Yeah, it has to sound unique. And
But there's many ways to do your thing.
Yeah.
But you have to have
But
some
people
element
aren't
of
doing it.
uniqueness in there.
Yeah, people
Like-
aren't even doing it in the States. In the States. When I listen to this,
no,
I'm
but-
like,
Mm.
this just, like, I can't, like, yeah, like you're saying, like, it just sounds like he might have been from the States. I can't tell. But
Yeah.
that's actually a shame because if he would have added something unique to it to make it more, like, his own, then that would have been perhaps more interesting.
That I agree with you. yeah.
Belgium has this problem quite a lot. Like,
But,
if they
to
make
be
music, they
honest-
sound either Dutch or French or American.
But Belgium has
There's
an
no-
identity crisis. I'm gonna put it out there. I mean,
And we don't want to.
Yeah,
they don't know. Are they French? Are they Dutch? And they didn't have a government for a while. They lived-
yeah.
Like what the?
Belgium
Going
definitely.
all out.
Belgium has an identity crisis. That's everybody knows that.
No, they do have an identity.
They have no idea what.
They should agree with it. Not the
Yeah.
French part because they probably. I'm
You know
not
what
gonna,
I
I'm gonna
like?
stop here.
Look this shit up. This is a very good example of a place and a people who did it right. Afro trap in France. Play that shit.
Oh,
MHD.
That's what I'm talking about. Why
Yeah.
can't people do that? Do that.
Yeah, I love that. I listen to them all.
We
a lot,
see
Which
that
man.
it has
which
the
number Afro
inspiration.
trap do you want to play? 9, the latest, or
Got 4.
4?
That's what I like.
Let's play.
That's the first one I really liked.
This.
Yeah,
You see, they took inspiration
From 2 genres.
Yeah.
They took inspiration from 2 genres.
and they made it their own thing. And it makes sense if you look at their history and their background.
Hold on, don't want to miss this, bro.
Arrête le rap, j'ai pas le temps de poser négro beau des baraques. Dans les parages, demande à Jonka. Le pôle NF réseau à la place du pare-balles. Qui vient de section, lunettes quartier, les petits qui parlent, ma voilà, faut tous les tarter. Des têtes armées, chez nous y'a les bravas. Dans mon seul les fils de pute qui parlent, même des legs gars. Tous ces enfoirés, chèques qui passent sur moi, ouais, c'est pas ta mentie. J'ai pas de fiche de pêche, connais pas mon salaire, mais j'parle des Gucci. On m'a dit qu'à Fouguette, la concurrence, je vois que des abrutis. Tous là pour le même but, reste dans le merde, fiston, et puis fais le move. Fais le move, fais le move. Fais le move, fais le move.
Here's the thing.
This makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But are they from Paris? Are they from Saint Denis? Look that up. Sure. Because I've stayed in a hotel in Saint Denis, which is the most dangerous neighborhood in the whole of France, apparently. And
In
you
France,
see, the
dangerous is
situation
real
is
Yeah.
real.
Friends.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's so. Even if they would rap about the same things American rappers that went through shit like rap about in their neighborhoods, it's real.
Yeah,
It's
I
believable
believe
because
you. Like,
man, I've seen it. I've seen it. I mean,
the
it
kids,
wasn't as bad as they make it out to be, but like
but if
a
you
lot
look
of
at, for
shit.
example,
happens.
the Paris attacks and the Paris,
Yeah,
also
yeah.
The hostage situation. There.
Oh, yeah.
The people who
actually
did
a lot
that,
of the
they were
shootings.
from that background, from that same.
No, one of the shootings did happen in Saint Denis as well.
That
A shooting happened
But they
when I was
traced-
around there, actually.
But they traced of the people who did it. They also traced back some of them, like their backgrounds and their history, and the story that they told of that guy was very similar to he couldn't get a job and lived in a bad neighborhood, a lot of poverty, and he was actually trying. He was trying to become a rapper. One of them was trying to become a rapper. He even had music videos.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
This was the one with when there was the hostage situation. When they were running after them, where there was one guy who was holding the.
Where are they from?
He's from the 19th arrondissement of Paris, that is situated on the right bank of the river Seine. It's crossed by the canals Saint Denis and Saint de.
Knew it.
I don't know how to speak.
So like when I was there, actually
Yeah.
funny, like there was one side of the street that was majority was African, and the other side of the street there was Algerian. And then a fight broke out, and they all like gathered around. It was like this like gang sort of thing where it wasn't a gang fight, but like the Africans stuck together, the Algerians stuck together to protect each other.
Yeah.
It's that kind of neighborhood.
But-
And it happens when I was there, and I was like, oh, the Algerians, I know the Arabs.
But with Afrotrap, with MHD, you really hear that he's heavily rooted in Afro-centric music, but also heavily rooted in hip hop. And he found like somehow, or by accident maybe, or maybe really just search for it, he found a perfect merger between those two, and he made he got trap music and Afrobeat and made it like a almost perfect blend.
Actually, could you play Bravo by them as well? Because it really sounds like Wizkid made it. The beat is.
Bravo.
This is like Wizkid, right?
Man, this is really like Afrobeat music.
But
But
they
this
use
is-
it and they make it friend. Look.
This is the more Afrobeat music
Yeah.
sound that he has.
Ma story il est pas fini. Je suis qu'à 30%, mais l'équipage en redemande. Où j'irai et marche dans les bacs. Windows 13, double disque de platine n'est pas la rage. Ne me parlez pas de reposer. Dani envoie la prod, appelle Reda, j'ai des trucs à déposer. Je te connais pas, tu me connais. Oh là, mon son dépasse toutes les frontières, même dans les favelas, dans sa moula. Je fais qu'elles à Marrakech, à la 100 dirhams. Pas de casier judiciaire, pas de compte à rendre à l'État. Et puis je reçois des félicitations.
And like everybody wants to collaborate with them around the world.
Because like whenever you do something that is so creative but also rooted in something so established and done so well,
Yeah.
like this is
Is there a documentary about this guy or something?
Oh, he's new, man.
it's pretty new.
Yeah.
But whenever you make
Let's call
something that is so good but also rooted in two distinct but also really good genres, people will want to flock to you, and like Afrobeat artists will want to work with you, hip hop artists will want to work with you because you do both really well and you made your own style. So people want to just merge into that and get into that and do that also as well. Like that's why I think that is why people.
I think I just yawned on camera.
Hmm?
I think I just yawned on camera.
No problem. I think that is why a lot of people can get into K-pop pretty easily because
I can't.
no, not everybody, but I
But
think
then again, I don't wear funny hats, so.
God damn.
Do you have a Hello Kitty pillow at
Oh
home?
Jesus! That's
Y'all need to stop.
Japanese, but
y'all need to stop. But
who are these people that are getting into K-pop so easily?
there's a big group of
It's that motherfucker, man. What's his name? You know the guy.
No, the from
Psy.
the English one.
Psy.
Oh, Psy. Oh,
No, it's
Psy,
not
okay.
before that.
him.
Yeah.
Before
Gangnam
that,
Style, man. That's who did it.
like
No, but before that, there was a
Yeah.
scene. I mean, pop really like it
I
got
know
to the
there's a
mainstream
scene,
then.
but
But
Psy, man, he
Psy
Yeah,
made
he-
it bigger,
he
but
did it for the people.
they have like
I bet you can sing it. Like I bet you know the words somehow.
But they have found
Yeah.
a for them perfect blend of Korean popular music, American popular music, and hip hop, and they just mix that shit together and they get a certain sound that people like, and that's why certain people want to work together with them. Like this is not maybe the best comparison because you hate this guy, I think, but Designer worked with
I don't hate anybody.
a lot of people. You should be honest.
Wait till he starts popping, going to these events, and
But,
he's gonna get his ass kicked everywhere.
Designer is
And I'm gonna have to
has
help
worked together.
out, so I'm gonna get my ass kicked too. I mean, I don't know, man. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but Designer has worked together with this one of the biggest Korean pop bands, BTS, and they made a song together. And now that's moving. But yeah,
Is Designer
Designer
moving,
needs
though?
Designer-
to hold on
yeah,
to his
we-
life.
Designer is a whole different problem.
I told
He's a whole different problem.
He
I
needs
told
to
you
do this
guys.
stuff to
Yeah.
remain relevant
Fucking
somehow.
fucking Jeff and Dunk. Oh yeah, he's good. He's gonna blow up. Panda.
You
I
know
was
what
like,
it is
bro,
with
I was like,
designer
bro.
working with these people?
I was
It's
like,
like it's
bro.
like when you're drowning and you're just like
Yeah,
trying to
exactly.
grab anything, like whatever. Yeah,
I was like,
that's what it is.
Lil Yachty's doing better.
Some people
Lil Yachty's
thought
doing
designer was
big
future.
actions.
I mean, some people thought like is designer future the same guy? You know, it says a lot.
I wanna close this episode off with
10 minutes.
another song. I don't know what you guys would think about this, but just
No, we need a different part of the world.
this is Japan.
We need a different part of the world.
You want a different part?
But- but-
we need a different partner.
What part of the world?
Because
do
we
you
had
wanna go
Asia.
to? You want to go into South America,
You're the Middle East, right?
Middle East,
Oh, I want to check the Sudanese.
Sudanese.
Because that's an interesting blend. They're African Arab.
Too Dope, All Right, featuring Mamaan.
I think it means Mamaan.
Mamaan.
Yeah, Mamaan.
Oh, the beat's good.
I'm
This is-
curious
this
if
is
they have
hip-hop.
Arabic elements in it. It's sort of-
We can listen to a few songs. We can.
Uh-huh.
I think this has it.
Yeah, it's Arabic.
People on the left who you tell me they okay. People on the right where you tell me they alright. Let me break it down for you all night. And let me see you dance for me alright.
Okay, now, oh my holy moly, dog, it's been a year since I broke out of D-Town and I surpassed my peers.
I thought the beat was good.
The beat's good.
I see where he's trying to
And,
go, but
they-
he didn't go the right direction.
They also throw in a lot of these Arabic words in between.
The beat is really good.
Don't be fooled by the two, cause I be the one and only. That's why I be flying solo.
You know, the strings in the background have an Arabic element to it.
You guys want to hear another one?
Wait, so let's talk about
Wanna try another one?
Clyde when looking
pause
for
it.
Bonnie. I skate in DMs like Tiny.
Because I need to make my point.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the strings in the background have the Arabic scale to it, the Arabic element, so it's
it has
decent.
like this element, but it's still.
Someone needs to. I'm not gonna make it specific about Middle East now, but you need
go
to make
ahead.
it region specific. Like I would say in the Middle East, there is a huge hip hop scene. Nobody's making though.
Do you mean
If you create,
I wanted to ask you, when you say this huge scene, do you mean people listening or people making the music?
no, people look both. People listening mainly because it's been in the culture. I remember growing up, like till now, like it's hip hop is the big thing, and the radio keeps playing the top 40s because they have their own agendas and their own stuff. But there was before the whole social media thing, there was a whole scene, and there were people trying to make it and stuff, but they were sort of really, really marginalized because then also the government wasn't like the social situation was more oppressed than it is now. It's a lot more open there.
We need to remember that's a really conservative area. In the
Yeah,
world,
but now it's really opening up so much, and it's so like even a decade ago it was like it's so much better now. But nobody went along with it, so I mean nobody was able to use the social media to their advantage like now. Like if someone would come out now, I think now's the time they'd be popping.
It would be awesome to hear like a good Arabic inspired hip hop song, but just in Arabic. There must be, but
There are people around.
CNN did this thing on this rapper in Morocco, in Marrakesh. He was snapping.
Yeah, but
He was doing his thing.
see how now you're gonna make
I
me
did
shut
that
up.
on purpose. I did that on purpose. I know that.
It's not. No. It's not,
motherfucker.
It's not that. Okay.
I know
No,
what
I'm
it
saying it doesn't. What a lot of the Moroccans are. A lot of them are half Moroccan, half, or they grew up in a different European country. and
yeah,
they go
yeah.
back to Morocco. They rap about
Yeah,
things
but
that
this guy was like
Middle
that-
Eastern people don't relate to.
Yeah,
right?
but that's specifically. That's why I said this guy he's like in Morocco.
Oh, he's
in
actually the.
he was in Marrakesh, like he's from there. and
Actually,
he
I've
was
seen
doing-
one
he was
video
snapping
clip
up.
recently of and I
It's
think there was
Morocco. It's
Algerian though.
Morocco in this list.
But just to make my point.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's people rapping in Arabic. Lebanon, I know, has some rappers, but they all, I think, move to the States, and then they lose their credibility. But
French Montana.
No, he's Moroccan, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he might have moved to the
Mhm.
States from.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think there's a whole scene. If you make a beat if you make a style, a certain genre of rap or hip hop beat that is specific to the region, that'll really pop. And I think you have to rap in Arabic. I mean, you can. I don't think the language matters at that point. Really.
So you're telling me there's no real like rapper in the Middle East now who's just doing this.
Maybe
thing?
not
No,
a popular
No,
one.
really.
No.
Maybe not the popular. I'm sure
Maybe they're not big,
There
but they're not
must,
big.
There must be
Yo,
some
yeah, I know a lot of
smaller
people.
ones,
Like
but
I really am in the music.
Why don't you go do it?
I've connected. I when I go back, actually this winter, I'm thinking I'm going to create a beat.
Record some tracks.
I'm gonna work with a
Spit
friend
that
of
fire.
mine. We're gonna do a beat, and I'm good. But I have to find a rapper though.
I'm talking about you.
I can rap, not like
You
I don't want to be. I don't want to
Go ahead,
be.
you snap off in the Middle East in Arabic rap.
Yeah, true. No, but
make a high
I can
production
snap
music
off as
video.
a producer, right?
It goes viral.
I'll snap off as a producer.
He's like producer.
No, I think there's. I mean, there must be someone. I think, but here's the thing, man. Because I really genuinely believe that if we make a good beat that's region specific in Jordan, and we say like, yeah, we're looking for rappers to rap on the thing, there will be an influx. There'll be a shitload of people who are gonna show up, and we're gonna find someone. I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
but I think that's the way to do it.
think-
I'm really interested in doing this as like a project. Just
I think it is maybe for a region it is more fun and to feel included into a global scene if they also just do that part. Like if this hip hop thing is global and is like a global culture and everybody knows, not everybody, but everybody knows what the general rules are. So it's fun to have tools like these, like foreign rap, and go to these things and then see other people doing similar things what you do and enjoy. And if more people can join in, if like Arabic countries can join in and bring their specific sound to it, it's even more fun. Like I agree with you in the sense that it's always better if like MHD, people bring their own sensibility to it and evolve upon it instead of just doing the same thing like some of these Dutch rappers are doing. But like, yeah, it's always maybe fun, or it's always interesting if people bring their own stuff to it and build upon it and just make the whole culture worldwide and make it more fun.
Jeff always with this like happy, colorful shit.
I want to close,
but the reason
that was supposed to be a good way to close this episode. But you
all,
trying to do that
all
shit.
share together, make music, and have fun together.
No,
I'm
I
trying
have
to
a-
wrap up this shit.
I have a dark reason why the thing is gonna pop off. I think because I'm thinking about it more, and I'm thinking the venues are the problem as well. There's not enough venues that the venues really want to do what's mainstream. They want to do their thing. They don't want to bring the new stuff, and they associate rap with violence and I don't know what. They're still very old school in that sense. Yeah, but I'm talking specifically now about Jordan, which is one of the most open-minded countries in the Middle East, so it must be the same everywhere. I think though the reason it'll pop off is because then you'll have to carry it out. You have to execute it like underground rap. You have to execute it in the underground scene, which is gonna blow up because everyone listens to this.
Just like fucking like parking lots and stuff like.
Or garages or like everyone. There's people with big houses there and they want to host the stuff.
I think we sometimes forget that most of the genres that we have now just started in somebody's fucking garage barn,
and most of the
people
recordings
started playing shit and just
I'm gonna, because I was talking to a friend last time I was there, and he was also wondering why, because he's like, okay, like Tupac and Biggie and stuff. Why are all these rappers coming from America? Because he struggled as well in his life, and he's like, we have the same and maybe even worse struggles in the shitty areas here, and people are rapping here, but why aren't they coming out with the music? Whereas why? Because of the social situation, because of the government, because of the whole thing,
But I'm gonna tell you off air.
Okay, and that's where we'll stop. We'll keep this.
Yeah.
As
Thank you very much for listening.
Join the discussion.
Hey, comment on this shit on the post.
We have a tag, so don't do too much.
People I also want people to suggest topics to us. Like if they think something is interesting and they want our opinions on that.
Jeff
shit.
is out of ideas, so.
Oh, okay. Did you come up with anything? Huh? Did you come up with anything today? Huh? You don't talk shit.
Come.
All right.
Sponsors. We're always open for sponsors.
Yeah.
That's one.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Till next time.